Good morning, YouTube friends. Last time I videoed, I showed you how I drew off this painting from this other painting. And we're gonna block in a little bit of it. That's what it's called when you put the first coat of paint on. And I'm gonna show you my palette that I use. Most of my colors, I buy them at Hobby Lobby, and they are Master's Touch brand, and they're on sale real often. So this is the palette. It's a piece of masonite that I got at Lowe's, and then I covered it with turpentine several times so that it would seal it and it wouldn't absorb the paint. And then I use this Mona Lisa colorless paint thinner. I like that. It doesn't have an odor. And then I just got an old cup. I've been using that for years, as you can see. And I put some of this in there because you're going to need that to mix with your paints. Then I buy Permalba white. And the reason I buy that is because it dries pretty quickly. And every color you put it in, it makes it dry more quickly. And then, so that's my white. And then I have usually used burnt sienna. And then this is yellow ochre. And this is burnt umber, which is a dark brown. And this is cerulean blue. And then I come over here, I've got scarlet red. This is called deep yellow, and this is called yellow medium. So I squeeze out a little bit of those colors. I'm going to move these. And so this is called a palette knife. And you can buy this at Hobby Lobby. So what you want to do is hold it like this. And there's a slant on the back side. You put your index finger on that slant. And you press down and you dip into the paint like that. You just dip in and take out a little bit like that. Put it on the palette. Okay, so I'm going to, I think I'll just go around the outside of the cowboy this morning. All these colors around here. Sometimes I start with the actual person or the horse. Sometimes I'll start with the background. When I'm doing a landscape, I normally start at the top left corner and work from left to right and then work down. But with a cowboy or a horse, I just start wherever I want to, really. So here's some white, and I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow. So you dip into it. Put your finger right there on the slant, dip in, take some color, and you press down. You see how the knife flattens out when I press? And then I dip it into the turpentine, and it just picks up enough. So then you scoop it up and stir it again. Press down when you're stirring, okay? So I've got a light yellow. Then I'm going to take some more of my white. I dip in like that. Start another pile. And this time we're going to put some orange in it like that. Going to stir that around. Dip in, get some turpentine. Stir some more like that. Okay. And then I want to dip in again. I want to use some of my burnt sienna. And I like burnt sienna. I use that in a lot of my paintings. So you scoop it up, turn it over, and stir it some more. Let's see, I want to get part of it a little darker. Sometimes I leave some of it light, and then I make another place that's a little bit darker. Okay. Then let's see, let's take some more white. And this time I'm going to put some red in it. Love red. And then let's put some orange with that red. And then maybe a little bit of the burnt sienna. Okay. All right, then, okay, so you want your paint fairly thin when you're putting the first coat of paint on. And later you can add thick paint, you can add texture. But at the beginning, let's keep it sort of thin, okay? And go back over the yellow a little bit. Now, I'm going to take a fairly large brush. You see how big that is? Once again, I buy these brushes at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to dip in to my yellow paint, and I'm going to come up here, looking at that one. I'm going to put some yellow right here in the corner. Actually, I want to pick up a little more just straight white. It's really more white there in the corner. And, okay, so I'm going to go like that, just sort of back and forth, dot, 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 like that. Okay, and then I come down some, and now I'm going to pick up a little bit of orange, go around his hat, like that. We're just kind of making it real rough. It's not real exact. Sometimes I paint real exact, but right now, this type of painting, I'm just going to paint loosely. And so it's not quite thin enough. I'm adding some more turpentine. And it's not real critical if you go into the man or the horse. Anyway, so I'm going like that. Later, we'll paint around the edge because this is one of those three-dimensional canvases. Okay, get a little bit more yellow. I think later when I paint the second time, I'm going to raise the height of the cowboy's hat. I'm going to raise the height of his head. I think I drew him off a little too squatty, so I'm going to raise that. Okay, so we come down here. Like I say, it doesn't matter if you paint into the cowboy because we're kind of doing this roughly. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of pure white, put that up in the corner. Well, it doesn't look pure white, but it's lighter, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to get some of my burnt sienna. Okay, and keep it thin. You want to keep the paint thin. Okay, and you can do strokes all different directions. It kind of makes it look sort of cool when you do that. Let's see. You want contrast in your painting. So if you're painting something light, like a light colored horse, and you want a little bit of dark around it, and if you've got something dark, you want to have something light, just so you can see it. Okay, come down his leg. Now you notice, see, it gets darker at the bottom. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that red and put that right down here at the bottom. Okay, love red. Okay, we'll go down around his leg. Okay, get some burnt sienna in there again to make it dark. Like that. And like I'm just taking, you see, I was just taking strokes all different directions. And kind of, almost you might say, sort of making it kind of messy. Now, I don't do this with all paintings, but with this type of painting, where it's just more a cameo of the cowboy, I'm doing it that way. Let's get it even darker right in here. And even darker. Okay. Okay. All right, so kind of got a good start here. See? So there we go. There's that painting. And that's all for today. Bye-bye.